My name's Garrett Purdue, and I just got back from the PGA show in Orlando, Florida, where we announced our new brand, Arnie's wellness brand. We're really excited about it. And the number one question that we got when we were there is how in the world were you able to secure a license from Arnold Palmer Enterprises to do products like this? It's a great story and probably a good place to start with this brand. So we've been working on this for 3 years. We've been running our plant products company, our brand Eternal, since 2017. I had my first conversation with Amy Saunders, Mr. Palmer's daughter, back in 2021. A good friend of mine, Peter Fox, was one of the first producers at ESPN, and he suggested we go down. He had a friend who was a member of Bay Hill, and he thought it was a pretty good idea. I thought it would be fun to visit Bay Hill. I didn't think that there was much chance that there would be interest there, but had the opportunity, and so we took it. And I went down and met with Amy. We talked. We talked for about an hour, and it was a fantastic conversation. She's a wonderful human, made me very comfortable. But I felt like the likelihood of us actually being able to work together was probably pretty low. She liked our product class, plant powered products, natural products, but she was very protective of her dad's legacy, rightfully so. Rightfully so. As we were beginning to wrap up the conversation, we were walking around their offices, and she showed me her dad's office, which they have kept in the exact same condition it was in when he used it. It's a phenomenal place. It's a phenomenal experience. There's this desk, and behind the desk, there's a credenza. And on the top of that desk, or excuse me, on the top of that credenza, there are 4 or 5, maybe 6 bottles of creams he was using, all plant-based. And we started talking about that, and it turns out it was always something that he had used in his routines. He was always looking for things that made him feel better, that were natural based and all that kind of stuff. And so that was the moment that I thought that there might be a real opportunity. I saw the fit, the connection, the real connection to what Mr. Palmer had done, what he was about, and how this might work. And so at that point, the bounce shifted, and it kind of became to me to convince her that we were the right partner for her. And that took about 3 years. And there were a lot of things along the way, I think, that were helpful. We talked about the quality of our manufacturing. The first investor in my business, our business, is a guy named John Rapogel. John was key in helping grow Burt's Bees into the company now. They acquired it when it was small, grew it when it was large, and then sold it to Clorox, and they've done that, he and his partners, many, many, many times over. Jim Geike is another one that's been involved in our business. Jim was the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of Burt's. And maybe most importantly is a woman, Celeste Lothario. Celeste ran R&D for Burt's product development, and then she had held similar roles with companies like Elizabeth Arden prior to that. She'd been actively involved in what we had done to date with Eternal. So I think pretty quickly Amy and her team got comfortable with the quality of products we would make. She also was probably interested in a guy named David Casseret. David is the chief of palliative care at Duke University, and he has a role in our business. He's on our advisory board. And so she knew for sure that we took efficacy pretty seriously. So we'd gotten past all of the product questions, and it became time to really talk about how it feels as a child of an iconic figure to be responsible with carrying forward that name in a way that makes the parent proud, honors all the work that went into it. So my mom was a former governor of North Carolina. Right at that time where politics were getting a little bit weird. She experienced some things that were hard for me. There were things positive said about her, negative said about her, all that kind of stuff. And I was able to talk to Amy about that. And she, I think, began to understand that I understand, I appreciate exactly what that means. And I told her, without doubt, without question, I give you my word that everything we do is going to be to help forward the foundation that's been laid. We will protect that legacy like it's our own. It is our own. I'll protect your legacy like it's my own family. I've been there. I've done that. And that's where we really began, I think, to connect on a different personal level. And so from there, we were able to kind of work through the details. And here we are today in 2025 as an officially licensed partner of Arnold Palmer Enterprises. And we've just gotten started. We've just launched our first products. You can find them online at shoparnies.com. You can hopefully soon find them in almost any country club you go into. We've started in Bay Hill, of course, and have got, a couple hundred others that are looking at our products now. So let's, talk a little bit about, what Arnie's actually is. So we're starting pretty simple. We're starting with topicals only. They're all plant-based, and we're starting in two benefit forms, pain and sun. So our pain products are a lot like some of the ones you'd find on the market. I'm not going to name any names, but without all the nasty stuff they put in them. So they're like pain products that aren't going to kill you like some of those are. We start with a muscle cream that has menthol, arnica, turmeric, and a little bit of CBD. In fact, a lot of CBD. It's the strongest CBD topical formula you can find on the market. It's a CBD isolate. We include it because we are a plant products company, a cannabis products company by nature, and we use plant botanicals that work in our products. And CBD works in a pain context. It has anti-inflammation properties. It is a powerful anti-inflammatory, maybe nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory. I don't know, but we use it at 3,000 milligrams in this product. It's a CBD isolate, so it's as pure as it can possibly be. It won't show up on any tests. It doesn't have any negative effect. It's there because it helps work in formulation with menthol, arnica, and turmeric to make you feel a little bit better, to make your joints hurt a little bit less. I mean, that's what it does. We also have done, in case you don't like, a cream that pumps out on your finger and it's greasy and all that kind of stuff. We've also done it in a roll-on, so it applies directly to your skin. Very easy, right? So two pain products. And then the sun products are equally exciting. I mean, it may be more exciting to me. So we've done an SPF 50 broad spectrum mineral-based sunscreen that is, FDA OTC approved. The formulation is as good as it can get. SPF 50 is a really difficult rating to get, especially in those products. Our products are tinted. One of the big knocks on the mineral sunscreens is you look like a ghost. Or gosh, back when I was a kid, they did them in pinks and purples and all that kind of stuff, and you look like a little skater kid. I don't really know, but so we've got a product that'll go in, blend in, and you won't have that effect. We also have an aloe product. If you've used most commercial aloes, you pump them out into your hand and they hold their form, and that's because a lot of the ingredients they put in them, like silica, maybe plastics and other kinds of stuff. You don't want that stuff on your skin absorbing into your bloodstream. We're trying to get away from that. So when you see our aloe, it's not going to be bright green. It's going to be very liquidy. It's pure. It's pure organic aloe vera. That's all of our approach to product formulation. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming. Hopefully the goal is to add other product forms. Our primary companies sell drinks, drops, gummies, and creams. At the PGA show, we demonstrated a gummy that was, yerba mate, cordyceps, maca root, and everybody loved it. It was a pineapple-based fruit puree, organic, vegan, gluten-free, all of that stuff. And if you don't know those ingredients, yerba mate is a caffeine substitute. It's great for energy, right? Cordyceps and maca root. Cordyceps is a functional mushroom. Maca root is a root. And they are good for clarity and cognition. So you take that formula and suddenly you have a product that gives you a little bit of energy and keeps you a little bit clear. We use that type of product or that type of botanical supplement in our cannabis derivative products when we want to give people a boost, a lift, and not a kind of downer effect. And so, that's a quick gallop through who we are, why we're here, and we start to talk about where we're going. We're very, very excited about it. We're tremendously honored to have this opportunity to participate with the family in really helping people get educated on plant-based wellness alternatives and this product class. Ultimately, that is what we're here to do, to make sure everybody understands that you do have a choice. So thank you. Look for us. Again, it's shoparnies.com is our website. Go to your pro shop tomorrow. Go to your country club. Go to your chiropractor. Go to anywhere that might carry these products and tell them that they should check us out. Again, my name is Garrett Perdue. I am the CEO and a founder in this business. We've got a whole slew of really cool, capable people involved that you'll be meeting one by one as we do a series of videos like this to talk about the people involved in this business and why Arnie's is different, maybe a little bit better than some of the other options you have to choose. Again, Arnie's Wellness Products. Garrett at shoparnies.com is where you can find me. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much.